Are you somebody who suffers with overwhelm, leading to procrastination, and then judging yourself that you have poor time management? Then I want to share my strategies with you, so hopefully you can overcome it, you can remove that stress and anxiety that it causes you, and also perhaps remove some of the labels. So first of all, I believe that overwhelm is a lack of clarity and doing things that you don't naturally enjoy, which leads to procrastination because you don't want to do things that you don't enjoy. Then, because you're procrastinating, you get behind on other things, which leads to an element of time management. So my strategies for how I have overcome this and become a huge doer is quite simply one of the things called, have you ever heard of the 5-second rule? Whereby as soon as you think, you count down from 5 and you just get it done. Like, click, go and do the action. That's one of the ways that you can do it. I believe that that's actually just a case of removing friction. Just do it! So being completely honest, I go to the gym and have done for years at 6 o'clock every morning. If I didn't put all my gym gear on the floor, the shorts, the t-shirt, the socks, by my bedroom door, that would add resistance. When I walk downstairs into the kitchen, if my creatine, my pre-workout, my BCAAs weren't sitting on the side, ready for me to pour, that would cause friction. If my 2 bottles of water, the one that I take to the gym and one that I drink before the gym, weren't in the fridge already cold, that causes friction. So one of the ways I believe that I remove procrastination for me, and you can do the same too, is think about how can you reduce the friction of doing things that you don't want to do by making it much easier, therefore creating a better habit. Because my habit now is all I have to do is just get out of bed. And I know some people find that really hard as well. But you just have to jump out of bed. Once I'm out of bed, grab my stuff, go downstairs, make my shit, drink my drink, done. Go out of the house at 6:30. Half an hour to go through that process to get myself into the gym. And it's the same with any task and action. One of the best ways that I remove procrastination, but also improve time management, is to put specific things in my diary. So for example, we're recording right now. That is in my calendar. Well, actually it wasn't. It's in my calendar for tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, but we had a space. So we thought, let's utilize that space now because something had been cancelled and moved. Think about school. When you went to school, you did a lesson, you had a break, you did a lesson, had lunch, had a break, lesson, blah, blah, blah. That's how you need to set your day up. So everything in my calendar, in order to be able to manage time rather than time managing me, is chunked. Now it sounds boring. I know it does. But what's worse? The life that you're currently living, overwhelmed, stressed and frustrated, or organized, habitual, routined by putting it in your calendar. So utilize Outlook or Google Calendar. Put things in at half-an-hour chunks. If you need to create content, if you need to make those sales calls, if you need to do your admin, if you want to do your finances, and I've been saying need to, but you don't need to do any of this stuff. You chose to go self-employed. You chose to run your own business. So you chose to take on all of these multiple different tasks as part of having more autonomy, time and freedom. So start controlling that time and freedom, and that will mean that you begin to reduce your checklist, your to-do list, and actually you'll then remove your overwhelm. So now let's look at the overwhelm side. Well, overwhelm is lack of clarity and doing things that you don't really enjoy. So my method of overcoming overwhelm is making a huge long to-do list, some of which will go on to Trello. You could use Asana or Monday, and I have a team. So thus I will allocate those tasks out. I will delegate some of those to my team members who are either better at doing them or it's just part of the job role that they're doing, giving me a much higher value in the tasks that I need to commit. And equally, I'll always choose the ones that I like first because we're human. So with your to-do list, if you don't have anyone to delegate to, create your big long to-do list and then get clear on which one of those is the biggest priority that probably, like a set of dominoes, would knock down 3 or 4 others. And just focus on that one thing. Last night, my 9-year-old daughter said to me at the end of half term, going back to school tomorrow, I'm really stressed. I'm really overwhelmed about going to school tomorrow. I just don't feel ready. I haven't got the right mindset for going to school tomorrow. I said, okay, that's tomorrow. This was 8 o'clock last night. I said, okay, so have you got your stuff ready for school? Yes, we've removed friction. What's the next thing that you need to do after you get your stuff ready? Well, okay, what am I going to do? I said, what are you doing next? I'm going to go and read my book in my bed. Okay, then what are you going to do? I'm going to go to sleep. Then what? I'm going to get up in the morning. And what are you going to do when you get up in the morning? Well, I'm going to get my bag ready. Well, why don't you get your bag ready now so you don't have to worry about that thing in the morning? Then once you've got that done in the morning, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to have my breakfast. Okay, and after you've had your breakfast, I'm going to get dressed. Okay, and after you've got dressed, what are you going to do then? Well, I'd probably make sure and help mummy with Rafferty, the baby, blah, blah, blah. And then what at that point? Well, I'll be ready to go to school. I said, right, so just focus on that. Don't worry about school, because if we get you to that point, then we don't have to be overwhelmed or fearful or stressed or frustrated or anything else. Just think about what is the next thing that you need to do to get to that next phase, next step, next level, next task, and then just worry about that when you get to that point. Often, it's trying to think too much into the future, trying to plan too far ahead that causes you the overwhelm, the frustration, the anxiety, the procrastination, and so on and so forth. So break things down into much more bite-sized chunks and have more organization and habits around what you need to do, and remove friction by prepping much more in advance. Even if it means getting your school clothes out the night before you go to school and prepping your bag ready for tomorrow. In a work sense, you can do the same thing with your work. I do too. So I hope that's given you some thoughts, insights. It's a regular thing that's coming up with my Success Circle clients. How, Gary, do I now fill in time to go to the classroom? Hey, Gary, what do I do about the Tuesday sessions? Well, the Tuesdays are at 9:30 every single week. So just put them into your calendar and stop booking appointments at 9:30 on a Tuesday, and you will be ready to come and learn and get advice every single week. So we get these clients, we get these questions all the time. So I hope that's given you some insight. I hope it's given you some help. If you struggle with overwhelm, procrastination, or time management, hit me up with some comments or questions, and I'll be sure to provide some insights. I answer them all personally, or let me know what your number one tip for any one of those three is. Have a fantastic day. Speak to you soon on the next video.